Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and get started, being cognizant of everyone's time, and others will just admit them as they log on. I am Nita Sharp, the Director of Programs here at Chicago MSDC, the Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council. I also have with me a team member, Robert Young.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Robert Young. As Nita had mentioned, I work with the programs at the council.
All right, so we're so glad that you joined us today so we can do a walkthrough of the Sources Grow Grant. Now, Chicago MSDC stands for the Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council. We are one of 23 affiliates in the network under the umbrella of the National Minority Supplier Development Council. We've been in existence for over 50 years, and we have 4 pillars. We certify, develop, connect, and advocate. We certify MBEs, minority business enterprises based on ethnicity, African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, and Native American. And then we develop MBEs through various programs, such as the Small Business Sources Grow Grant. We also have our PIPE program, which stands for Progress, Insight, and Performance Education. We also am a nominating partner for the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. And we also work with the Women's Business Development Center for EMBA, Enhancing Minority Business Access, just to name a few. So that's how we help develop minority business enterprises. Then we also connect you with corporate America and buying institutions across the nation. And then we advocate on behalf of minority business enterprises through our MBEIC, which is the Minority Business Enterprise Input Committee, where you're able to share ideas, discuss best practices, network, and possibly collaborate on various business opportunities. So that's a little bit about Chicago MSDC. Okay, now let's move forward into the presentation and discuss the Small Business Source and the Grow Grant. All right. Now, you may recall that last year there was a grant opportunity out called Back to Business. And so that program has evolved, and now it's known as the Small Business Source, where they look at opportunities for grants. And this is one of the opportunities this year with the Grow Grant. Just a little background information. With the Small Business Source, there are over 40 organizations that work together to meet various small business owners' needs. We provide one-on-one technical assistance and also business advising. Then we also hold webinars such as these. We have a webinar series where we're doing virtual information sessions. We have another one scheduled for the 27th, as you may know. And then we have an in-person information session for the Grow Grant next Thursday at Prairie State College. Oh, you can go to the next screen, Robert. Okay, and then with the Small Business Source, again, access to grants are part of the focus. And with the Grow Grant, that opportunity is being made available this year. And then the state and the county are also looking at other grants possibly in 2023. And you can see the program results, the history, the number of businesses that have been served, the number of funds that have been dispersed. Also, we've broken it down and showed the people of color, POCs, as well as women that have taken advantage of the Small Business Source. So we are building and evolving. Okay, next slide. Now let's talk a little bit about the GROW grant. $25.5 million have been set aside for this particular grant to disperse these funds. We're looking at 2,500 businesses that will receive the funds, and they are in total $10,000 each grant. With the Back to Business grant last year, there were varying amounts based on your tax returns. So some businesses receive 500, others receive 5,000. I've seen some businesses with the Back to Business grant that receive $70,000 and more. But with the GROW grant, it is specific. It's a $10,000 grant. And also, your business qualifies if you have less than 20 employees. Okay, and then some of the business advising services we offer and we suggest that you look for is business support organizations that are best in class. Usually with the organizations, especially with Chicago MSDC and the other corporations that are working with the GROW grant, it is no cost to you. You receive the expert guidance and coaching, and that allows you to maximize the benefit and the potential of your grant. And then the key dates to keep in mind. The grant application period opened on October 3rd and it closes on October 31st. So it's important to get your application in by 5 p.m. on October 31st. There are no extensions. Okay, and then with the timeline, applicants will be notified in the early part of 2023. January, anytime between January and March of 2023, you can expect to be notified if you are a recipient of the grants. And then, as noted, you'll receive those funds in 6 to 8 weeks once you have been notified. All right, let's go to the next screen. All right, who is eligible? It's important that your business is open and operating. And it's important that this happened prior to 2020. So if your business started in 2019, you qualify. You would need that 2019 tax return. That's part of the documents that you would need to be uploaded into the system. And we'll discuss that in greater detail as we move forward. Also, they're looking for businesses that had a decrease in revenue as a result of the pandemic. So there are some businesses out there that had more revenue as a result of the pandemic. So we're looking for those that had a decrease in revenue and or an increase in your costs because of the pandemic. So this is pandemic relief with this grant. And then, of course, the use of funds, we're asking that it be business-related expenses. So consider that as well. That is one of the questions that will be asked. It's not a qualifying question, but it is a question that will be asked. So consider how you plan to spend the funds, payroll, rental costs, equipment. Those are some thoughts to consider. And then who is the priority? It is POC, people of color, women, veterans. You see those noted. And then geographically, we're looking at businesses located in suburban Cook County. That is a priority. Now, if you're in Chicago, the city of Chicago, you still can complete the application, but one of the priorities is those in suburban Cook County. Then we're looking at industries that were hardest hit by the pandemic, and you see those noted. And then another priority is the size of the business. So if you have fewer than 10 employees, that's a priority group as well. So those are the 4 priority groups that will be considered when the reviewers start looking at the applications.
Hi, Nita.
Yes, Robert.
There's a question. Do businesses in the tobacco industry qualify?
Let's see. Let me look in my notes and see what is said about it. One moment. Tobacco industry. I don't see it at the top, but as we get into the presentation, I will look and see if that question is outlined here. So let's keep that in open and in front.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Another question?
yeah, Shahara asked, does this mean you are not eligible for grant if your business started in 2022? That is correct. They are ineligible. You have to have been in business in 2019, right?
Yes, 2019 or prior to. That's the earliest, 2019. So if if you started your business in 2022, you don't show a history of suffering a loss as a result of the pandemic. And these are relief funds, if you will, to help you get back to business. So if you're just starting out with your business in 2022, you wouldn't have a 2019 tax return. So you wouldn't be able to qualify.
Right now, that's all the questions we have. So.
Okay. All right. So 2019 and prior, yes. 2020 on to 2022, no, because you wouldn't have a 2019 tax return. All right, moving forward, let's look at the required documents. There are only 3 documents that you need to upload into the system for this particular grant. 3 documents. So we recommend that you compile all of your information in advance, because this is what's needed. You upload it into the system and it's all done in one setting. So you don't have the opportunity to start the application, save it, come back later when you have the documents and move forward. It's all done in one sitting. So again, we recommend that you pull all of these documents together, and then when you're ready to upload them, start the process. And actually save the documents as files so that you can upload them quickly and easily. Let me pause here. Robert, do we have a question?
Yes, we do. What if your business was officially incorporated in 2020 before the pandemic hit? I was just going to respond again. Your business needed to be in at least in 2019, correct?
Correct.
Yes. So, yep. And then the other one was if the owner of the company was providing services as an independent contractor in 2019, then formalized the business in April 2020, would you still be able to qualify for the grant? The 2019 tax return does show that the owner was working in the same industry as the contractor.
That is a good question. The owner providing services as an IC in 2019. So does the 2019 tax return show the name of the business? No.
It just shows that it was an independent contractor and then moved to formalize it so I could make sure that the taxes were separated from my personal taxes to my business taxes.
I don't have an answer, Babylon, for
Yes.
that. I'm thinking the reviewer is going to look for the business name with the 2019 tax return.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. But I would have that confirmed just to be sure. Okay.
Will do, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so these are the 3 documents that are needed to complete the grant. So this is the information that you would, have uploaded into the system as you complete the application. the valid photo ID, and it shows all the ones that are acceptable, because this is a required document. And then your 2019 federal tax return, that is required. All of the pages, don't exclude any pages, include each and every one, because if you don't, the reviewer will wonder, why pages are missing. They will contact you to ask for those missing pages, and you'll lose time in the application process. So complete and submit every page from your tax return, 2019 federal. And then we ask that you sign a W-9 form via DocuSign, and there'll be a link for you to do that. The W-9 must be signed by the business owner with a current 2022 date. Okay, so again, that's by the business owner, not the accountant, not someone completing the application for you, but the actual business owner. All right. And there's additional information for the application, business address, EIN, date of business first sale. That's information they're looking for as well. And it's recommended that you do not put commas when you're listing the revenue. That seems to be an issue with the system. So enter revenue without commas, and don't put dashes where your social security or EIN number goes. Do not include dashes. Two things to know. Okay, moving forward to the next slide. There's really a 9-step process with the application, and we have resources available to you outside of the information session you're attending today. Thank you again for being part of this group. The county also offers options in case you still have questions that need to be answered. And Babylon, that's what I was saying. This is another resource that you can consider just to check and make sure I'm providing you with accurate information regarding that particular question. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. The drop-in help desk, they are available 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. You can see their hours. And then they have in-person help desk availability every Wednesday between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. With the virtual application information sessions, it's open Q&A. If you need to speak with someone directly, breakout rooms are available for one-on-one. But again, that's a virtual setting, and it's all via Zoom. And then in person, same thing, Q&A, and you can also have that direct one-on-one business advising. And with the in-person, that's via the Cook County building, and you can see the location listed there, 69 West Washington on the 29th floor. So those are other options available to you. We are also hosting an in-person session next Thursday at, again, Prairie State College in Chicago Heights, Illinois. And we're also holding a second virtual information session the following Thursday on October 27th from noon until 1. The great thing about this application is you don't have to hurry and complete it right now. It's not first come, first serve. So this gives you time to collect your information, compile it, make sure you have all of the pages, all of the documents needed, and submit them at one time. So we had a number of applicants complete the process on day 1, October 3rd. But keep in mind, even if you submit on October 31st, you're still on the same level playing field. That's the beauty of it. You have that time to collect the information you need. Okay, next slide. As I mentioned, there are over 40 community partners working with the Small Business Source and this GROW grant. And Chicago MSDC, as you can see, is one of those partners. So we have resources available to assist you as a small business owner in a number of different areas. If you're interested in marketing, legal, If you are interested in certification, various certifications, we can assist you with that. Access to capital is one we're stressing with the GROW grant because MBEs need access to funds. So the state and the county has made this available to you. And you can see the list of the other partners. We asked that as you go through and complete the application, when it asks who you were referred by or who you worked with, please check Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council. Okay. We appreciate that.
We have a
All right.
question, Anita.
Yes.
We have a question. My revenue increased, but my expenses also increased. Would I still qualify? My profit increased though.
I would say submit the application. Your revenue increased, but your expenses also increased. Submit the application. Okay.
That's it for now for questions.
Okay. Oh, you are welcome. These funds are available, so I would say complete the application. All they can do, the worst they can do is say no. All right, let's move forward. Okay, here is the timeline. Just as background information, the GROW grant was launched in September, and then the application period opened again on October 3rd, and it will run through the 31st, 5 p.m. on the 31st is when the grant closes. Then reviewers will start checking the applications on November 1st. Be sure when once you complete your application that you have Cook County's Small Business Source website listed as something that's accessible and something where when emails come through, it won't be blocked in any way, because if reviewers have questions or they need more information from you, they may reach out via email. So be sure that Cook County's Small Business Source GROW grant website or emails can come through to you. Robert, what's a better way of saying that?
You just want to make sure that they're not whitelisted. Also, probably majority of the time, they'll probably come in your junk folder. So just be real cognizant of reviewing your junk folder as well. Sometimes they will pop up in there.
That's a good idea. And be sure to check, your voicemail, because they may call and leave you a message as well. And they're looking for responses as quickly as possible, because that slows your application from being fully processed. So be sure to respond to any emails or phone calls that you receive from the GROW grant reviewers or, Small Business Source program with Cook County and the state of Illinois. Okay, and once the review period ends, you will be notified if you are a recipient of the grant, and then those funds will be dispersed to you in 6 to 8 weeks. And that's why the W-9 needs to be completed. They want that completed in advance so they don't have to reach out to you again and say, hey, complete this form so that we can send you the funds. We can disperse the funds to you. So that's why they ask for the W-9 upfront. Okay, so then the funds will be dispersed within that 6 to 8 week time frame, but business advising can continue. If you have the need where you like, assistance in those various areas I mentioned, as well as others, that is available to you. Okay, and hopefully if other grants are made available in 2023, you will be notified of that as well, and we'll stay in touch with you also. All right. Do we have any questions, concerns? Okay, we can move forward, Robert. Okay, here are some resources for you with the county. The Bureau of Economic Development, or BED, has the contacts noted. They're part of the Small Business Source. And then Next Street is the program coordinator. And there are a few contact names there as well. Okay. All righty, we can move forward. Okay, let's get to the good stuff, what you're really here for. Let's walk through the application. So Robert is going to pull up the website so you can see where all of your information will be documented. Okay, and Robert, what's that website name? Hard to see. Okay. You can see the link there at the top, and this is a smart sheet that you will complete. Again, all in one sitting. You do not have the opportunity to save your information and then come back later. So pull all of your documents together to complete it at one time. Okay, so really there is a roadmap, a quick roadmap I'll share. You'll pull together all of your documents, your valid photo ID, your 2019 federal tax returns, all the pages, and your correctly completed W-9, which you'll click the link and fill out that information and finalize that. Then you have the option of working with an advisor, where we can help you with the application process, share any review or tidbits before you submit your document, and answer any further questions. Again, it's not a first come, first served grant. The application review period will start all at one time in order of priority, only after the application window has closed. And then we ask, as we mentioned, that you add Cook County and also the Women's Business Development Center, or WBDC, to your safe email list, because the funds will be dispersed by WBDC with the city, with the state and the county. And be leery of requests for more information or any notifications. Be aware of that, I should say. So you can stay informed, you can be updated and provide that necessary additional information if requested. Okay, now with the application, there are 9 distinct areas. We'll start with the first and the biggest, which is the business information questions. Okay. So with the business information questions, the reviewer is going to check the business name against the submitted 2019 federal income tax returns. Babylon, that's what I mentioned earlier. They will check that. The reviewer is going to look for that and make sure there's a correlation. I'm wondering if you can add a comment anywhere stating what you shared here today about being an IC previously, and see if that will work. Okay, so that's what they will look for. So the business legal name, doing business as, are you the business owner? They're going to check that legal name against what you're putting in the application. Okay, and again, the request for information is for the business owner, not the manager, not an accountant that's working on it for you. And then the reviewer is going to cross-check the information against those 2 documents. They're going to check it against your ID and against your W-9. And then it's only 1 grant for 1 business owner. So if you have multiple businesses, you just need to concentrate on 1 business, 1 grant for 1 business owner. Okay, I'm looking at questions 3, A, B, C, and D. The business owner's name must be filled out on questions moving down 4 and 5 because it will be checked by the reviewer against the photo ID that was submitted. Okay, moving forward. Question number 12, the business zip code. The business zip code determines your eligibility and your priority for the applicant. Remember, one of the priorities is your location. So suburban Cook County is given priority with this grant. Not to say that other zip codes are not going to be approved for the grant, but that is a priority area, suburban Cook County. Okay, something to consider. All right, moving forward, question 15. How is your business legally organized? The reviewer will cross-check this information against your tax returns and the W-9 submitted. Okay, they're going to check that. That's something they will definitely look for. Okay, moving forward to question 16. Please provide your 9-digit EIN or your social or your individual taxpayer ID number. The reviewer is going to check that. They're going to cross-check that information against, again, the tax return and your signed W-9. Bear in mind and rest assured, all your information is kept confidential and is only used for the grant program. Okay. All right. Moving forward, question 16. Again, reviewer is going to cross-check. So everything has to line up. It's going to cross-check for your social against the tax return, if you're a sole proprietor, and the signed W-9. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, question 16. Same thing. Individual 10 tax ID number. It will be cross-checked. And business owners who use an ITIN for their business are eligible to apply for the GROW grants. Questions 17 and 18. That's the eligibility check by the reviewer. Your business must be a for-profit entity. Nonprofits don't qualify for the GROW grant. And businesses must have made its first sale prior to 2020 in order to be eligible for grants. That 2019 federal tax return, as I mentioned, is mandatory. Okay, questions 20 and 21. Reviewer check. How many permanent full-time employees? Again, to be eligible, you have to have fewer than 20. So anywhere between 1 and 19. That is going to be checked. And then those will have priority that have 10 or fewer. Or no, let me rephrase that. Fewer than 10. So between 1 and 9, that's a priority field. That's a priority that the reviewers will be looking for. So not just ethnicity, not just zip code, but also if you are a micro business, fewer than 10 employees. That's a priority. Please note this is self-reporting information that you as a business owner are attesting to, and no supporting documentation is required. It is self-reporting, all on you. Okay. Going to question 22. How much, gross revenue did your business generate in 2019? Another eligibility check. Gross revenue must be, good to know, more than 10,000 in 2019 in order to qualify for this grant. More than 10,000 in 2019. This entry is going to determine your business's eligibility and will be checked manually against the tax returns that you have submitted. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, just throw them in chat. Robert will let me know and we'll get them answered. All right, so that completes the biggest piece of the application, the business information. Now let's move to the second part, which is industry type questions. And I just want to throw this out, how to find gross revenue for your Grow Grant. There are places you can look, quick places. If you're a C corporation, it would be on page 1, line 1A, which is gross receipts or sales. If you're an S corporation, also on page 1, line 1A. If you're a multi-member LLC or partnership, you'll find your gross revenue on page 1, line 1A. If you're a sole proprietor, it would be on your Schedule C, Part 1, and line 1. And again, nonprofits don't qualify. All right, so to jump into the industry type questions, let's see. There's a question about NAICS codes or NAICS. And that is a determining question. That will give you priority based on your NAICS codes. And in the overview, the PowerPoint overview, we listed out some of those industries. So if you are listed as, if your business is in one of those qualifying, you will be given priority. Other industry groups will be considered in the review process, but those particular industries are given priority. And those are, let's see, hospitality, food and tourism businesses, also those in childcare and social assistance, arts and entertainment, retail trade, and transportation and warehousing. Okay, I don't see that we have any questions about NAICS codes. If you don't see your NAICS code listed, be sure to, well, you should see them listed. If what's on your tax return you don't see listed, you can always go and make sure you're using the most up-to-date NAICS codes by Googling that. And that information will be available to you, and you can make sure you put in the appropriate NAICS code. So those are all of the NAICS codes that are provided with the application. Thank you, Robert. Okay. And then to recap for corporations, you can locate your 6-digit NAICS code on your 2019 federal tax return on page 4, Schedule K, line 2A. For partnerships, you can locate your NAICS code on your 2019 federal tax return, top of page 1, section C. Sole proprietors, you can locate your NAICS code from your 2019 federal tax return on Schedule C, section B. Okay, and that's it for the industry types with the NAICS codes. Moving on to part 3, business owner demographics questions. Question 24A, ethnicity. Again, that is a priority group. So priority will be given based on ethnicity. Again, this is self-reporting information that you will attest to, you'll sign off on at the end of the application, and no supporting documentation is requested. This is a priority group, just like we talked about zip codes, just like we talked about NAICS codes. All right. Moving forward to question 27. Is your business majority owned? That will help determine priority as well. Because they will be looking at the groups. So that is a priority. Okay, and that completes part 3. Business owner demographics questions. Going to 4, use of funds. This section is a request for information only. It will not impact your eligibility or likelihood of receiving the grant. So again, consider what they're asking, and if any of those groups, any of those sections meet the need of how you intend to use the funds, be sure to check it. Again, not a qualifying question. It's just a request for information. All right, moving to section 5, document uploads. Again, we talked about the 3 pieces of information you'll need: your ID, a copy of your ID, valid ID, not expired, your 2019 federal tax returns for the business, all pages, and then the completed W-9 form. Okay, again, these are mandatory documents. The reviewer will check for these. And the reviewer will check the business owner information against the ID and the W-9. And you saw the various forms of IDs that were accepted or are accepted. Okay, question 2, or the place where you'll upload your 2019 federal tax return, all pages. If a partial tax return is submitted, the review will be delayed. Okay, what will the reviewer check for? Matching of the business name and the EIN, the ITIN, or the SSN. Verification that you qualify based on the fact that you made more than $10,000 in 2019. And then for sole proprietors, they'll check that the full Schedule C is submitted. No tax returns, no grant. Only complete applications will be considered. If the tax return is password protected and is not submitted, it will cause delays in processing. So please provide the password in your response to question number 34. That is a note. Okay. And Babylon, that is something for you as well. Under 34, that's where you can put additional information. So if you want to make the note about, being an IC in 2019, you can certainly do that in that part 34, where you're able to provide additional information. Okay. All right, let me make sure I have everything noted here. Okay, we talked about password protected. All right, let's see. For the W-9, completed W-9, since the grant award will be reported to the IRS. That's why that W-9 is needed. Having an incomplete or an incorrectly filled out W-9 does not disqualify your applicant, but it slows down the review process. So be sure you're completing it accurately, every part of the W-9. All right. Okay, frequently asked question. If a business was located in Cook County in 2019, but has moved out since then, you will not be eligible for the grant. The business owner must attest to the fact that my business remains open and in operation in Cook County as of the date of this application. So keep that in mind. If a business moved into Cook County during COVID, you're eligible for the grant. They can use this space to explain the exception and upload a business license or proof of business operations in Cook County as a supplemental document for the review. So keep that in mind as well. All right, let's go to the bank information section. That's questions 35 through 39. Let's see. You are to provide your routing number. If you have questions about that, you can Google that particular information, your 9-digit routing number. Okay. And routing number, account information, bank name, and bank account holder name. All right, moving to section 7, agreements. This is what you are attesting to with the application. Outside of the 3 required documents, this is all self-reporting. Okay. Moving to section 8, business advising and permissions for outreach instructions. Again, please, if you submit your application, check off Chicago Minority and Supplier Development Council as the organization that assisted you. If you have any questions after today, you can reach out to us via email. That email address is programs@chicagomsdc.org. Robert is also going to put that in chat. We appreciate you for listing us as your business advising organization. And with this section, it's a request for information only and does not impact your eligibility or likelihood of receiving the grant. Okay, this is for information only with section 8. Okay. And then section 9, just advice for you to double check and make sure that everything that was required in terms of uploading was done adequately, because only complete applications will be considered. I'm showing here that you can make a note that there may be an email sent from Smartsheet Forms, and that will be forms@app.smartsheet.com. Again, that's forms@app.smartsheet.com. And also be sure to check your spam folder. We advise you to check yes to send me a copy of my responses so that you'll have that. You'll have that in your files. Also, we recommend that you PDF the responses and file into a digital folder under Grow Grant to keep everything organized so that you'll have everything at your fingertips. So check yes to send me a copy of my responses. Then once you receive those responses, save that as a PDF so that everything is solidified and nothing is changed. And keep that in your files just in case anything happens or any questions come back about what you submitted. You will have that on record. You'll have a file of that. Okay, do we have a question, Robert?
Yes, says my business is mobile. Majority of my business is done in Cook County. However, my home office is in Lake County. Would I be eligible? Based on what you said, that would be no, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
So
You would have to. Your business would have to be in Cook County. I'm wondering. Your home office is in Lake County. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. A few business advising tips. I'm showing common mistakes made. Again, verify the business name entered on the application matches what is reflected on your taxes. Provide contact information that is current and is something frequently checked. Is the phone number correct? Is the email address correct for that contact person? That is crucial. Verify that your numbers match your taxes in terms of EIN, SSN, or ITIN. We encourage you to stay organized. Collect all of your documents first and then apply. Create a Grow Grant folder to keep all of your submitted files there, so you'll have everything at your fingertips. Again, ensure all pages of your 2019 federal tax return are included in your submission. Try to upload the cleanest and clearest scan or image possible of all of your documents, so it's not blurry or unclear, because again, that'll slow down the review process. You may be contacted and asked to provide a clearer version of your documents or your images. So make sure it's clear to begin with, clean and clear. Okay, I'm showing that these grants are for business purposes, therefore they should be deposited into a business bank account. If you're a sole proprietor and use your personal account, notify your bank that you have won the grant if it comes through for you, and you're expecting funds from the Women's Business Development Center, because we're showing that certain banks may see the deposit as a fraudulent transaction, since it is $10,000, and freeze the account. So once you're notified that you're a recipient of the grant, as a sole proprietor, let your bank know that you're going to be receiving funds from the Women's Business Development Center. Please also ensure that you submit that, please be sure you click the submit button only once. Keep in mind, the more accurate and complete your application is, the faster the grant will be reviewed and approved. Okay. I believe that is it. That's the end of the application. Any questions, concerns, issues? Or is everybody good? Okay, wonderful, wonderful. All right, well, that completes our walkthrough of the application process. The team is here to assist you. You can always reach out to us at programs@chicagomsdc.org. Robert has put that in the chat. Okay, I am seeing a question. How much of a, oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Nina, you're ready. No, it's all good. I'm just gonna go ahead.
Okay, how much of a priority is suburban Cook County? That's one, well, I don't know what you mean by how much, but that is a priority group. They are looking to disperse funds to businesses in suburban Cook County. Again, those priority groups are ethnicity, a zip code or location, especially with the suburban Cook County area. Let's see. See if I have any more information about that suburban location. No, I think that's all that I'm showing. That's all I'm showing about suburban Cook County. Okay, any further questions? Life Harris, I see you're joining us at the conclusion of the presentation. Were you able to catch any of it? No? Okay.
At this point, if anyone wants to come off mute and just say something, or if they have a question, if you're shy to type in the chat, you can just speak now if you want to unmute yourself.
Okay. Well, again, we ask you to please reference the Chicago Minority Supply Development Council as you complete your application. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. All right, well, that concludes our information session on today. Thank you so much for joining and being a part of the presentation. Again, you can always reach out to us via our email. We did show the help desk option for you with Cook County, as well as the option for virtual information sessions. So thank you so much for your time and attention today. I hope you complete the application process before the deadline. And all the best to you with the GROW grant. We hope that you are a recipient. Thanks again.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Bye-bye. Take care, everyone.
Sierra, I see